Well, hello, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. Thanks so much for watching me today. There are so many options and choices out there. If you've come up with watching me, well, I thank you. That makes me feel pretty darn special that you chose me out of all the other options. Because I know for me, I could spend the entire daylight hours doing nothing but watching everybody's podcasts. And good, bad, and indifferent, right? Because some are pure entertainment and others are factual and scientific and teach us how to do the new way of eating every single day. Are you a whiner? Are you? Do you complain about everything anyway? Have you ever looked at that part of yourself? Like, you complain that it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too humid, it's too rainy, the roads are too icy, this diet, not lifestyle, is too hot, and I don't want to do it anymore. And nobody supports me in this house. They all want pizza and takeout and Taco Bell and Dunkin' Donuts on Sunday, and they still want all the things that they had before, and it's just so hard. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Remain at the place that you're at now, which is totally probably self-loathing and detestable and disgusting, and you hate it, and you got this far to like watching keto podcasts, buying some healthy keto foods, and I don't mean the desserts or the bread ingredients. I mean leafy greens, and I mean fatty meat, and I mean really good butter like Kerrygold, like Organic Valley, like the Amish roll butter, all those sort of things, like the heavy whipping cream that's organic, hopefully, that carrageenan is gone from your diet and your verbiage and your ingredient label, and you're not doing anything like the old stuff like fat-free half and half or Coffee Mate that's sugar-free. Read those ingredients. If you can pronounce them, go ahead and have them. But if your grandmother wouldn't have drank Coffee Mate, don't you, even if it tastes good. Sorry. I mean, like what we ate in the standard American diet did taste good. Highly palatable foods. That's what the chemists are looking for when they start making new foods. Highly palatable. If you haven't read The Dorito Effect, this is by a man that does tons and tons of shows on Dr. Oz, although I haven't seen him for a while. But he does tons of reviews. And the Dorito Effect was how a bunch of chemists, scientists, food industry devils all figured out how to attack what we want to eat and make it seem like it's the best new thing out there, hence called the Dorito Effect. And one of the things that maybe you might whine about is that keto is so bland or boring. That's true. But here's a book that's not afraid of spices. I'm telling you. She has a liberal hand, and the one menu that I made from her was great. It was a chili. It's done a whole lot differently than any version of my chili. I don't really like cooking with peppers, onions, and garlic, mostly because they're nightshade, but whatever. And so this is half chorizo and half beef, and tons of tablespoon of this and all that kind of stuff, and it's rather tasty, and I like it. And yes, I will make it again. But so what is it that you're whining about? Is it really that it's keto, or is it that your entire environment is still doing the standard American garbage, crappy food that you used to do too, and now you have FOMO, which is fear of missing out? Do you really, have you ever listened to somebody that's really truthful on their podcast about keto and how they fell off their tracks and had crap and how it made them feel and how it really didn't taste that good and how they fight like crazy to get back onto keto? Or, some podcasts that I've watched, they not only fall off the track, but they're not even coming back on a podcast and talking about it yet. There's one woman that probably came back after being gone for, I don't know, 8 or so months, 100 pounds heavier. And I don't think anybody wants to be, having that experience, whether you're just watching me after a break or you do your own podcast. Coming back is tough. Getting back on track is tough. It feels great after the first couple of weeks, but, if that's when you realize maybe I do have a food addiction. Maybe all that stuff that Sarah talks about day after day after day that makes me yawn, that makes me gag, that makes me roll my eyes is true for me too. Yeah, maybe it is. And so, you weren't seeing the signposts along the way that says you are building up to a standard American diet mega slip. Maybe you didn't see the signposts. Sometimes the signposts are whining because maybe nobody's listening to you in your face-to-face environment. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why a lot of us are here, because there is nobody listening to us. Greg can eat the standard American diet. His lab work is fine. He's not gaining weight. I mean, it's like it's unfreaking fair. But I'm not going to get whiny about it. I'm going to set about he did not finish his pie last night. Ed picked it up and said, here, you finish it. He thinks I'm too skinny. Ever have that problem? Too skinny? I don't think I ever had. And even if I am by his standards, he doesn't understand that there's either this, which is doing my Keto Under 20 with a discipline and a structure every day, or there is that 100-pound gain, and there's no more podcasts from Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Yeah, there's nothing in between, except my face buried in a plate of crap. And it would go fast, too, because, if I unleashed that, oh my. So sometimes if you find that you're a whiner, it means that you're just having a little trouble adjusting to a new way of eating, and you haven't gotten the blinders. And no, they weren't on sale from the Prime Amazon sale date. And what did they have? Did they have anything that I use on a daily basis on sale? No. What a joke. Just saying. I digress. So what else is new? Anyway, so you can get your blinders from Amazon, and it will help you when you're seeing people eat the things that you can't eat. Have you ever looked at them in such a longing way? And say it was a man, right? And it's not your man, it's somebody else's man. I mean, that if that man's woman was looking at you, she'd say, quit lusting after my man. And it's like you're not. You're lusting after that thing he's having at a cookout that you can't have anymore. Isn't that funny? If they only knew how, we become such food hawks with the stuff that we used to eat. But it passes. If you're not doing things that keep your sugar opiate center, reward center alive in your brain. And that happens even with artificially sweetened things. So forget that sugar-free stuff. Not good for you anyway. Yesterday, and this could be a quick homework assignment. The podcast is less than 8 minutes. It is Dr. Berg talking about the importance of potassium and why it's important that you work on the 4,700 milligrams per day. And I just ordered more potassium citrate powder from Amazon yesterday. No, it was not on sale for Prime. And because it has more potassium, and in the measuring thing, it gives a better example of the one that I've been using. So it has higher concentrations of the potassium citrate. So I will have a full teaspoon of that, I believe, mixed with my wheat juice powder, my wheatgrass juice powder that I get from Terrasol on Amazon as well, organic, and a whole lot less than Dr. Berg's version. It makes it more palatable, but it certainly is an acquired taste to have that glop in the morning with lemon juice. But I do it. Get it over with, because the reward of the bulletproof coffee is brewing. So anyway, he talks about the importance of potassium. And the reason I like Dr. Berg so much is he connects the hip bone to the, the thigh bone, to the knee bone, because he said, if you're not getting enough potassium, you might still have sugar cravings. Well, those are the sort of connections I like to hear. And today I don't have sugar or carb cravings. I could look at food porn and get a little triggered, but it passes. It passes because I can think it through. They have this thing called Think the Drink Through in AA. Well, yeah, think that Blizzard through. Think that bowl of Doritos through. Think that, tortilla chip with guacamole through before you do it. Think it through. Really. Plug into that and say, how am I going to feel after I have this? Well, I might have to have a true confession with Sarah. It might be a messy Monday confessional, but heck, it could be a Thursday morning confessional about what happened on a Wednesday night. Because it's summer and we deserve it? No. So if you're whining, you need to do maybe a little journaling about this. There's something inside of you that's feeling that you got slighted, that it's not going your way, that there's something a little bit harder about it than it is for the rest of us. I will always keep saying this. Keto Under 20 is simple and easy, but it's difficult to grasp, and you can't play around with it. Just like somebody in AA. You're either drinking or you're not. In NA, you're drugging or you're not. If you quit smoking, you're smoking or you're not. There's no, going up to your ankles and saying, this is okay, I haven't screwed up. It's totally staying away from the pond that says closed due to pollution, contaminants, red tide, whatever it says, okay? Getting to keto, add more fat. If you're whining and you feel hungry, really start plugging into Dr. Berg's real quick, down and quick podcasts about certain minerals, trace minerals, things like that. Yes, he sells products. He can. He's a doctor. Get over that part. You can find either cheaper equivalents on Amazon or go the real food way. But I'm telling you, with something like potassium, I doubt anybody could have 4,700 milligrams of potassium in green leafy salads. It's just not happening. So I look forward to my delivery. And somebody asked what I use. I use Dr. Price's electrolyte mix. It's a little powder, and I've got the berry one and I've got the raspberry one. And I have that in lemon water with my supplements right before my first meal. And then there's the potassium citrate powder that he said to get. There's buying things like Smart Water and other beverages like that, but be very, very, very careful with what the ingredients are. You're looking for potassium, magnesium, and a whole bunch of, and sodium. And he said, Dr. Berg said that the potassium needs to balance out the sodium. So if you're having a whole bunch of sodium like a good little person on keto and you're not getting enough potassium, you're still out of whack, and you still could be having cravings or just that feeling of unbalanced. So the potassium definitely balances out. And he said you have to have something like 4 milligrams of potassium for every milligram of sodium. Watch it yourself. Don't trust that I'm verified on that. But I plan on watching it again too, because it seemed to be 8 minutes really worth of my time, and I think it's worth your time too. So if you're whining, really do some homework in your head and really try to discover why that is. Are you just not happy? Is it not going fast enough for you? Have you never had something like this where it's a way of eating, it's a new lifestyle, it's a whole new neighborhood? As one person commented, you need to drop all that other stuff like a bad friend. So it's a new neighborhood, you need new friends. If they're not face-to-face with you, sleeping in the same bed as you, your best friend, all of that kind of stuff, just get really quiet and find your community online like so many of us have. Boo-hoo for us, but that's the way it works. And I couldn't do it without you guys. And I just crossed the 2,000 threshold, like I told you, and So when I see that and I get comments from newbies, I am so delighted that you stumbled upon my little crazy bathrobe blather. No fancy gimmicks or graphics, can't figure that stuff out. I'd rather watch somebody's podcast that teaches me keto and how to be a better person. So enjoy your day. Comment below. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. Dr. Berg on potassium. It's the best 8 minutes you can invest in your keto-fied lifestyle. Bye-bye for now.